My view on this would be that those front three for Liverpool have not turned rubbish overnight. You know, you might look at each individual performance and say they could play better, but I think there's something a bit more deeply wrong with the football team. And people could talk about the injuries as well. I understand that, but if you've got midfielders filling in at centre-back, which you've got, that is going to impact the midfield. So let's have a look at the midfield that is in place while those midfielders are playing at centre-back. And the big one yesterday was everybody raving about Thiago. And I know you thought he was great as well, didn't you?
I did. Yeah. I thought he was absolutely outstanding. I thought he was great when he came on against obviously poor opposition in the Cup. But yesterday, I thought again he had another top game. That first half, he dominated play. Manchester United couldn't get a kick because of him.
Well, I disagree. There's a text just come in on him, actually. He says, Thiago gives the ball away countless times, sideways passing. Suddenly he was controlling the game. Not for me. And this is what I heard. He was controlling the game. Well, if he was controlling the game, why were Liverpool not effective? It's not the kind of control.
In the first half.
Well, they weren't. It finished 0-0. You know, they didn't score in the first half.
Right. You not remember some of the things he did in that game when he got the ball?
I don't actually know.
He flies past him. He's not got terrific pace, but the way he went... Did you not see the way he passed Fernandes on one word? Little dropped the shoulder, went round him, dribbling skills, passed it to Salah. Final ball from Salah, not good enough. He did that on numerous occasions when he was just outside. He played a bit deeper role, you've got to remember, yesterday as well. If Henderson and Fabinho played, perhaps he would be able to get further forward and influence the forward play. And because he's not afraid to try and make that pass. You talking about might give the ball away. Of course, because he's trying to thread that pass through. Same as other players in the Premier League who try and do that.
Let me have a look at Thiago. And let's just talk specifically about him at Liverpool, because he's clearly a very talented player. He's had an incredible career. But he is, coming up 30, I think, before the end of this season. Has his best gone behind him? Is that it now for him? Because I look at it this way. We've hardly seen him for Liverpool. Some people might have him in the team of the year already, but I just think that's based on what he's done at other clubs. Let's have a look at him now for Liverpool. And in this Liverpool team and the way they play, he's played 6 games. They lost 1-0 to Southampton, drew 0-0 at Newcastle, drew 0-0 with Man United. They won 2-0 at Chelsea. He came in at half-time with Chelsea down to 10 men. He played 90 at Everton. They drew 2-2. Played at Villa in the Cup. I can't even believe you brought that one up, mate. He came on at half-time when the kids had used up all their energy. So, seriously, if
he was unbelievable.
If that's
he gave him a lesson.
Of course he is.
Well, he gave him a lesson. It proved the difference.
Oh, come on.
When he came on,
Fine, he was brilliant against the kids. I mean,
he was unreal. What about the rest of the Liverpool players there that wanting that game? He come on and they showed his class.
He came on when they used up all their energy. These kids.
What he does, he wants the ball, no matter who he's playing against, whether it be Bayern Munich, whether it be Juventus, whether it be Barcelona, whether it be Aston Villa kids. He wants the ball in any position, whether he's in his own box or the opposition box.
Let's have a look at how he uses it, because he is tidy, he is neat, he can pass the ball. Results-wise, he is having very little impact. And why? Because he's a luxury player in this Liverpool team. They cannot carry him in front of a makeshift defence and with a 3-man midfield. It's basically a 2-man midfield with him spraying a few passes around that might come off. He doesn't do the hard graft, doesn't do the running or the tackling, doesn't do the cover work, doesn't do the dirty stuff that original 3-man Liverpool midfield needs to do. They were all action. Dynamos, every single one of them in that 3-man midfield. He slows it down. They've gone from heavy metal to lift music with Thiago. You can admire his ability, I get that, admire his ability all day long, admire his career, but it doesn't work in Liverpool's system or Liverpool's style. Terrific career, talented footballer, totally wrong for Liverpool. So for me, I'm looking at it thinking, all right, yeah, he's got a lot of talent. I understand why you'd want to sign him. You want a player of that ability. But in the heavy metal stuff for Liverpool, Darren, I don't get that at all.
Well, you've just reeled off some of the reasons why it might not be ideal. They've not got his proper team out there this year yet, whether it be injuries to Thiago or COVID, whether it be injuries to his centre-backs, Gomez, Matip and Van Dijk, which has obviously had a big effect. It meant Fabinho, who can play well in all positions. We've seen that, whether it's defensive mid, whether it's a centre-back. He was awesome yesterday in that game against Manchester United. But realistically, the 3-man midfield, if it could be Henderson and Wijnaldum and Thiago, you're telling me that's a bad midfield? That's a brilliant midfield.
No, what I'm saying is, in that side, the way Klopp wants them to play, the way they have played successfully, you've got to have 3 all-action midfielders who can do everything. And he isn't that, Thiago. He's brilliant at what he does, but I'm afraid it doesn't work in Klopp's three-man midfield, in my opinion.